So for me, the most important way to judge a country is the people. And the people within Jamaica are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. Some of the most peaceful, some of the most at peace people ever. And this is partly because of the one love culture. Obviously, largely influenced by Bob Marley, but also largely influenced by Rastafari culture. The country's motto is literally out of many, one people.
So they told you that Jamaica was dangerous. Guys, they lied. Lies in broad daylight. A traveler just ranked Jamaica the best country in North America, not Canada with its progressive reputation, not America with its superpower status. Jamaica, and the internet is having a meltdown because his reasons destroy every narrative the West has fed us about black nations. He didn't talk about results, he didn't talk about beaches. He talked about something the diaspora has been starving for, a place where black people are at peace, where one love is not just a slogan, it's how you survive. What if everything they told you about safety and development was designed to keep you from discovering where real humanity still exists? If you're tired of the programming, stay locked in. This one rewires everything else that you were taught. Let us watch this clip and then I'll be back to discuss everything with you guys.
Here's 5 reasons why Jamaica is the best country in North America. Starting with food, you have African, British, Spanish, and Indian influence all in one nation, and this gives you spice, it gives you diversity, and it just gives you some of the best flavors in the world. The national dish, ackee and saltfish, absolutely incredible, very, very unique, and it doesn't taste like fish that you'll get in most parts of the world. They usually use cod, and it has a very, very salty taste, of course, but also incredible. Then you have jerk chicken and jerk pork, 2 absolutely incredible proteins to eat, but jerk chicken is obviously amongst the best chicken you can just eat in general. Curry goat, oxtail stew, the list could go on, but if you are like me and as pale as I am, make sure you don't get it too spicy. Rice and peas, brown stewed chicken, the list is endless. Let's move on to the next bit. So for me, the most important way to judge a country is the people. And the people within Jamaica are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. Some of the most peaceful, some of the most at peace people ever. And this is partly because of the one love culture. Obviously, largely influenced by Bob Marley, but also largely influenced by Rastafari culture. The country's motto is literally out of many, one people. It's about unity, peace, and respect, no matter where you are from. Jamaica is also a mixing pot of different ethnicities, cultures, and many people are surprised when they go to Jamaica and realize that there are many white Jamaicans with fully Jamaican accents. However, this is just normal to the Jamaicans. But I have to say, living on an island nation like Jamaica, with the sunshine, with the breeze, with the tropical ocean around you, I can see why so many people are at peace, as well as the organic food that they literally get from their own country, and they aren't importing much. They're just so chilled, so relaxed. And I remember when I asked for the time in Jamaica, the response was there are only 2 times in Jamaica, daytime and nighttime. Then you got the home of reggae, some of the best Afro-Caribbean music you're ever going to listen to. And reggae is just a vibe. Anybody can listen to it. Again, it comes into that community thing where it is about unity. It's not about division. It is for everybody. Jamaicans have also faced some tough times throughout history, so they also have this pride within their own nation, this togetherness and this resilience. The communities are tight-knit, supportive, and they do want you to come to the country. The majority of Jamaica is a friendly, welcoming place, and a lot of media narratives are completely wrong about Jamaica. I absolutely love it. It's an incredible country, the country of one love, and I'm going back next year. Let me know what country you're from and if you want me to feature it.
Let me tell you what they don't want you to know. There is a black nation, right? In the Americas where people don't just survive, they thrive, where strangers become family, where the concept of one love is not just some hippie fantasy, it's literally how society operates. And before you roll your eyes and understand this, a traveler who's been across the entire North American continent just declared Jamaica the #1 country, right? Not based on GDP, not based on military power, based on the one metric the West refuses to measure, the quality of human connection. And that should terrify the powers that be. From childhood, we've been programmed the Caribbean. Beautiful beaches, sure. Great vacation spot, yes. But live there, oh no, that's too dangerous, too poor, too underdeveloped. They show you the same recycled footage, crime statistics, poverty, struggle. They never show the 75-year-old grandmother who will literally pull you into a yard, sit you down, and feed you a plate she can't afford to give because that's what humanity looks like. The media has done to Jamaica what it does to every black nation, reduce it to trauma porn because if they showed you the truth, if they showed you a place where African descendants built a society rooted in genuine community, where out of many, one people is not just a motto but a lived reality, you might start asking dangerous questions about the so-called developed world you're struggling in. Here's what this traveler discovered, by the way. Jamaicans are statistically the friendliest people on earth. Not in some feel good participation trophy way, a research study ranked them number one for helping strangers. Think about that. In a world where people in major cities will step over you dying on the sidewalk, there is a nation where helping strangers is the norm. This comes from the one love culture, heavily influenced by Rastafari philosophy and Bob Marley's legacy. But it's deeper than just music. It is a survival strategy that the African diaspora perfected. When the system is designed to break you, you build an unbreakable community. I've had stories, by the way, Jamaica's approach standing up for Somalis being harassed in London, Jamaica's in Toronto taking in African students who had nowhere to go. This is not charity. This is the understanding that your humanity is tied to mine. That when one of us falls, we all feel it. And in 2025, when the West is more divided than ever, when your neighbors don't know your name, when loneliness is an epidemic, when people are literally dying from social isolation, Jamaica is out here practicing radical humanity like it's normal. Now, let us talk about something that makes Western nations nervous. Jamaican pride. Of course, yes, Jamaicans will hold two passports, one from superpower nation and still travel on a Jamaican passport. Still introduce themselves as Jamaican first. Still represent their flag with an intensity that makes other countries look lukewarm. The traveler says their patriotism is on another level and he's right. But here's what they won't tell you about their pride. It's born from resilience. Jamaica's history is brutal. Slavery, talk about colonialism, economic warfare from the IMF, every attempt to crush the spirit, and they came out of it saying, you know what, we are still here, we are still us, and we are going to be prouder than the nations that tried to destroy us. That's not just nationalism. We are talking about survival elevated to art. Compare that to the manufactured patriotism of the West, where you pledge allegiance to a flag that represents a system actively oppressing you. Jamaicans are proud of their people, their culture, and their survival, not their military budget. Let's get real about influence here. Okay, Jamaica has only 3 million people. Canada has 40 million. America has 330 million. Yet Jamaican culture, reggae, dancehall, patois, style, attitude has shaped global culture more than most nations 10 times its size. But Marley is more recognizable worldwide than most American presidents. One Love is sung in languages Marley never spoke in countries he never visited. Jack chicken is on menus from Turkey to Toronto. The Jamaican flag is one of the most worn flags globally by people who've never even been to Jamaica. Why? Because authenticity is magnetic. In a world drowning in manufactured culture, Jamaica offers something real. Reggae is not about division, it is about unity. The food is not fusion for fusion's sake, it's African, British, Spanish, and Indian influences that actually live together and create something new. That diversity is not performative. You'll meet white Jamaicans with accents you think like so thick you'd swear they grew up in Kingston because yes, they did, and nobody questions their Jamaicanness. Out of many, one people is not a corporate diversity statement. It is a lived reality. And can we talk about the food for a second? Guys, please, let us talk about it. There is ackee and saltfish. The national dish uses salted cod and ingredient born from slavery and turned it into something so incredible that it's now a source of pride. That's the alchemy of the African diaspora, taking what was meant to oppress us and transforming it into a culture. There is jack chicken, curry goat, oxtail stew, brown stew chicken, rice and peas. Every dish tells a story of survival, adaptation, and ultimately triumph. The spice comes from African roots, the technique from indigenous Taino people, the ingredients from Indian and Chinese indentured laborers. The result, some of the best food on earth. And here is the kicker, guys. Jamaicans grow most of their food locally, organic, fresh from their own land. While the West is eating processed poison shipped from 5,000 miles away, Jamaicans are eating food that actually nourishes. The traveler noted that this contributes to how peaceful Jamaicans are, and he's onto something. What you consume, food, media, energy, shapes who you become. So here's where it gets personal for us in the diaspora. Right, we're out here in these developed nations, grinding, isolated, watching our mental health deteriorate, raising kids who don't know their neighbors, working jobs that don't value us, and we've been told this is success. That we made it because we escaped places like Jamaica. But what if we escaped to the prison and from the freedom? What if the underdeveloped nation has something we desperately need? Genuine human connection. Community that doesn't require transactions. Pride that is not based on oppressing others. I'm not saying Jamaica is perfect. No place is. They have struggles, they have economic challenges, crime in certain areas, the scars of colonialism that haven't fully healed. But what they have that we've lost is understanding that wealth is not just money, development is not just infrastructure, progress is not just technology. Sometimes progress is a grandmother feeding a stranger, sometimes development is a community raising each other's children. Sometimes wealth is knowing that if you fall, 20 hands will reach down to lift you. The media's portrayal of Jamaica and black nations generally is not accidental, it is strategic. If they showed you thriving black communities built on mutual aid and cultural pride, you might question why your community is struggling despite being in a rich country. You might wonder why you're lonely in a city of millions. You might ask why you feel more alienated in the land of opportunity than people doing in a place the West calls struggling. The narrative keeps you grateful for crumbs, keeps you from imagining alternatives, keeps you from recognizing that the system is not broken. It is working exactly as it was designed to, and that design requires you to believe there is no better way. So, Jamaica and the African and Caribbean diaspora broadly represents a threat to that narrative, not a military threat, a philosophical one, an existential one. So, as I come to the end of this video, we need to come up with solutions. First up, we stop accepting their definitions. Develop doesn't mean better if the people are miserable. Safe doesn't mean safe if you're safe from everyone, including yourself. Successful doesn't mean successful if you achieved it alone and die alone. Number two, we reconnect with the cultures that actually nourish us, whether that's physically returning, supporting diaspora businesses, learning the philosophy, or just refusing to be ashamed of where we come from. Number three, we build one love culture wherever we are. You don't need to be Jamaican to practice radical humanity, to know your neighbors, to build community, to choose connection over consumption. The traveler who declared Jamaica the best country in North America didn't do it because he's naive. He did it because he measured that what actually matters, and by that metric of human flourishing, community strength, cultural pride, and authentic living, Jamaica is not just winning in North America, it is showing the whole world what they've lost and what we can reclaim. One love is not just a greeting, it is a revolution. Guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening to me, and I hope to see you in the next one.